Now I have to be honest, when I first heard about the Olight O-Station X, I thought it was sort of a gimmick. But after spending the last week with the O-Station, it's sort of become my favorite way to charge and store my AA batteries. And why is that? Well, it's pretty simple. The pure convenience of this 3-in-1 smart station. Let's check this out. So let's quickly run down some of the features of the O-Station X. This is the AA version. They will introduce a AAA version a little bit down the road, but as of right now, this is the only version available. So that means it only charges your AA batteries, but I heard if you have a AAA battery adapter, it will work in this machine, but I haven't tested that yet. And I mentioned that it's a 3-in-1 smart station. It analyzes your batteries, it charges your batteries, and it stores your batteries. And it can store up to 32 AA batteries at the bottom of the O-Station here. It can charge up to 4 AA batteries at a time, and there's 4 slots that you just plop the batteries into right here on the top and close it up with this convenient dust cover right here. The O-Station will test and analyze all of your batteries in this middle section right here in one of these 4 slots. And depending if you have the O-Station set at standard charge or a fast charge, it'll charge a group of AA batteries in standard mode in about 4 hours, about 3.8 hours, and a group of batteries in fast mode in about 2.5 hours. And you can change from standard charging to fast charging through the app, even though you don't really need the app to use this machine. And I'll go over the app a little bit later on in this video, but you can see the Olight button right here. So just press it once and it'll start to enter standby mode by flashing white. Once the light is completely white, that means it's in standby mode and you can start dropping some batteries in there. So Olight will offer a few different versions of this, and that means how many different batteries you want to buy when purchasing the O-Station. You can either purchase the O-Station by itself, you can purchase, I believe, an 8, 16, or 32 battery version. The one that I have here, they shipped 16 different batteries. So I have the Olight batteries right here, and these are pretty nice rechargeable batteries. They're 2500 milliamp hour batteries. And you can see I already have some fully charged batteries right here in the storage area. That's one of my favorite things of this O-Station, because I always struggle with storing the batteries after they're charged. So what I've been doing with my charged batteries is I just plop them into a cardboard box until I need them. And when I do need one, I take it out, take out my cheap little battery tester right here, make sure there's enough charge on it, and then I can go along my way. But that's what's so great about the O-Station here, because it's all automatic. All I have to do is basically take a battery, open up that little cover, plop it into one of the empty slots here. I'll put in all 4, 3, 4, and you can put them in either polarity. So I'm going to reverse this one. It'll still work that way, which I think is fantastic. I didn't look to see if the light was white, so I'm going to press the light right there and make sure it's in standby mode when you plop the batteries in. I'm not sure if it was in standby mode or not because I'm looking at the camera, but make sure you do that first. And what it'll do, it'll analyze all the batteries and start the charging sequence. The charging sequence will start when the light turns green, and there you go, it just turned green. After the O-Station tests all the batteries and makes sure they can be charged, the light will turn blue and start charging the batteries. And like I said, whether you have it in standard or fast charging mode, in about a couple hours, those batteries will be done, and they'll just plop right here on the bottom of the O-Station, and all you have to do is just push this little button here, and like a Pez dispenser, it ejects a battery. This is fantastic. So I'm going to put these back in there to be charged again and cover up that dust cover. And if the O-Station tests a battery that's bad, meaning if it's old or just can't hold the charge, it will plop it down into this little tray right here, and just pop out the tray to show you that. It'll plop the battery right in there, and when it does that, this little light right here is a little red LED that will turn red to tell you that, yeah, there's a bad battery in there. Now, from my experience with this machine, which has only been a week, it's plopped a couple batteries in there, about 4, but those were these batteries right here. I tried charging 14500 batteries in here, which they don't work. I've tried a bunch of different batteries to work in this machine, a couple 14500s, this AceBeam battery right here with the USB-C charging port right there on the battery itself. And I tried charging some of my favorite AA batteries, these pale blue batteries in the O-Station, and those didn't work either. So all of those batteries were tested and were discarded and ended up in this little tray right here. But I have run across a few batteries that were good that the O-Station deemed not good, put them down here, then I put them back in, and they charged just fine. So I'm not really sure what's up with that. And those batteries I put in there are being charged right now, and you can tell that by the blue ring, and you can see that little flashing portion of that blue ring. That shows you how much time is remaining on that charge. That's how you can tell if you're not using the app. If you're using the app, it's much, much easier to tell how much charge is left on your batteries. Oh, and going back to those batteries that wouldn't charge with the charging port on the battery and the 14500s, you can see I put them in my slot charger and they're charging just fine. Even though I wish it would charge those batteries, it's a small gripe because overall, I'm in love with this machine just based on the convenience alone. Now, Olight says that the O-Station X has 8 layers of protection. And I'll pop up on the screen what they have on their Kickstarter page. It says it has overheat protection, over current protection, over voltage protection, overcharge protection, short circuit protection, a cooling system, electrostatic breakdown protection, and auto shut off and tip over protection. I get a little nervous storing a bunch of batteries in my basement because you guys have seen the videos of lithium-ion batteries exploding for no reason. I think that's scary. So having them stored in a case like this gives me a little peace of mind, even though I'm not really sure how the O-Station will handle a battery exploding if it would explode. But I'll tell you, I'd rather have it in a case like this than just out in a cardboard box like I've been using. So let's take a look at some of the other features here. On the front, there's an air intake, and on the back, you can see the air outlet, which is basically the vent. Also on the back, you'll see 2 USB-C ports. I have the included USB-C cable plugged into the one port to give it power. And yes, it does come with a USB-C to USB-C charging cable with an AC adapter to plug into your wall. But what's really cool here is this other USB-C port because you can actually daisy chain another O-Station just by plugging in the cable to this port right here and into the other O-Station. So if you get the AAA version when it's released or another AA version, you can actually daisy chain these two together with only using one outlet from your wall with 2 cables. And I'll do a follow-up video once I get the AAA version of the O-Station and demonstrate how that process works. And on the bottom, there's some silicone feet, which is a nice touch. And just for the heck of it, let's test that tip over function. Just gonna tip it to its side. All right, what's it doing? That LED turns red and an alarm goes off, so that is really nice. Just put it back up to its upright position, and there we go. Starts charging again. Now, I had to disconnect the O-Station to come out to my studio to record this video, and since then, I'm having troubles reconnecting the O-Station to the app. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but I'll have to reconnect it later on and do some B-roll of the O-Station working with the app. And the app, other than this little issue that I'm having right now, has been flawless. As of right now, it's a bit bare bones, but it's a launch product for Olight, and I'm sure they'll add more features as time goes on. And as I mentioned before, the O-Station will work without the app, but you sort of still want to use it if you have access to the app because you have more control that way. But overall, I'm a big fan of the O-Station X from Olight. Like I said before, it's my new favorite way to charge and store my AA batteries. So let's go over some of the things that I've noticed over the past week. The first thing I want to say is the sound and the noises that the O-Station X makes. In standard mode, it's fairly quiet regarding the fan noise. Once you put it in fast charge mode, it makes a little bit of noise coming from the air intake and the vents, but that's not too crazy. My big concern is if you have this in your bedroom and you're charging something overnight, once the battery plops down to this plastic piece where it's stored, it makes a loud plop because there's no insulation, there's no foam down there. It's just a battery hitting plastic. So when I first started testing this out, I didn't know that, and I had it in my bedroom trying to sleep, and the first couple batteries that plopped down woke me right up. So I won't be doing that again. Now I keep this in my basement, but maybe in the future, maybe in another version, I would like to see some sort of insulation down here or some sort of foam so when the battery hits that plastic, it won't make nearly as much noise. Another thing is the app. I like the app, but I sort of wish there was more customizable features in that app. And maybe give us a little bit more information, such as if a battery gets discarded into the tray right here, I sort of want to know why it was diagnosed that way. Especially if the O-Station is misdiagnosing a battery, I sort of want to know why it discarded it. As of right now, there is no information, but that can be fixed with a quick update to that app. I love the fact that you can put in the batteries in any polarity direction, so I don't have to really worry about it when putting in the batteries to be charged. And when I first got this, I sort of wished it took AA and AAA batteries. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I read that it will take AAA batteries with an adapter. I can't test that because I don't have any adapters. But when I first received this, I was like, oh man, it sort of sucks because I wish it charged both AA and AAA. But then after thinking about it, it would probably put this machine through the stratosphere when talking about price. Because I can just imagine what they would have to do to the O-Station to make it accept both versions as is. Plus, you would have to have more than just one battery dispenser down here, because if I want to get a AAA and there's a AA next, I have to keep cycling through the dispenser here just to get to that one AAA battery. So it would almost have to have two battery dispensers down here and be probably double the size as well. So I'm off that. I sort of like it only being a AA charger at this point. Plus it has an auto off function, so that sort of puts my mind at ease after I plop in a couple batteries and just go to sleep. I know that the O-Station is going to turn off and not just sit here and charge overnight. So realistically, I can go on and on about the O-Station here. This isn't a full review, even though it might sort of feel that way, but it's not. Actually, I should have ended this video a long time ago, but there's just so much to talk about when it comes to this machine. So I think I'm going to end the video right here. Just so you guys know, the O-Station does come out at the time I'm releasing this video with Olight's new sale. So I'll put all the information down below if you guys want to check this bad boy out for yourself, which if you've been looking for a new battery charger and storage solution for your AA batteries, this could check all the boxes for you. As it did for me, I'm a big fan of this machine.